thank you so much for coming out here, man.
Oh, sure.
And we're real excited to have you here.
Oh, we love playing here.
And I guess, you know, I know you've got a new box set coming out.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? What's going on with that?
Well, the Virgin really put it all together. I didn't have anything to do. They didn't even ask me what I wanted on it, but they did a real good job. I was real happy when I found out what they were putting on it.
Yeah?
I thought they did a good job. I couldn't have done better if I'd have done it myself.
All right.
So I was real glad.
Now that covers a lot of ground. You've had kind of a really long career here.
40,
a lot of different
50 years.
Is there anything on there that, you know, you look back on as like a particularly favorite time period? You know, something that stands out to you?
I had a good time playing everything I did. But I think my first record is still my first Columbia record. I really liked that record.
Now, is that the one that you got hooked up with after that show with Mike Bloomfield?
Yeah. I was signed with CBS the last of '68. The record came out in '69.
How did that show come to happen?
Well, I met Mike here in Chicago in '63. He had a coffee house called the Fickle Pickle, and they had old blues guys come in and play. And I was working on Rush Street, and I had a night off when the club was open. I went down hoping to see somebody. There really wasn't anybody there, but Mike was playing. He was playing piano, and I had my harp in my pocket. I came over and started playing harmonica with him, and then later on we jammed, played guitar together, and he remembered me from me meeting him in Chicago in '63, and in '68 he was playing with Al Cooper at Super Session, and I had just come up to New York with Steve Paul, and went out to see him, and I asked him if it'd be okay if I played, and he said, "Sure, man, I'd love to have you play." So I played, and Clive Davis was in the audience and liked what he heard, and a couple months later he signed me with Columbia.
Wow. That's a great break, man.
It was great. Mike was a real help.
Now, I know also, in addition to all the recording and performing that you've done yourself, you also have famously produced a bunch of records with Muddy Waters.
Yeah.
What made you want to do that?
Oh, I love Muddy's music. I love Muddy. He was my favorite blues artist. I've been listening to Muddy since I was 12 or 13. But I knew all his music backwards and forwards. I knew what he's going to do before he did it. So and it was so much fun for me. I got really close to Muddy.
So you just happened to approach him about that when he wasn't signed with anybody?
He called his manager, Scott Cameron, called Steve and asked if I'd be willing to play and produce. And I said, "I'd love to, man. Are you serious?" Yeah, let's go.
Are there any moments that really stand out from that time recording with him or producing that record? Something that really...
Well, actually, the most fun I had with Muddy, I was over at his house in Largemont, and he cooked me gumbo.
All right.
That's my favorite memory of Muddy, cooking me that gumbo.
That's cool, man.
It was so hot you couldn't hardly eat it. It was so spicy, man. I was sweating, but it tasted great.
I believe it. That's the way to do it, for sure. So I guess you probably picked up a lot of your slide style off of listening to Muddy.
Oh, sure, of course.
What kind of slide do you use?
I use a piece of drum hardware. I was practicing at SRR Studios in Williston, New York, and this guy had cut up a piece of cymbal stand or drum stool or something. I don't know what it was. Some kind of drum hardware, though, and made it for me, and I've been using it ever since.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, that's wild, man. I guess, is there anything that people should know about, your current touring and your upcoming projects and this box set? Anything that's coming up that you want people to know about?
Yeah, well, we got the box set. We got a new record called Step Back that's coming out in a couple of months, and we got a documentary that'll be out too.
Oh, really? What's that?
Pardon?
What's with the documentary? Who's doing it?
Well, we've been doing it for a couple of years. I haven't seen it, so I really don't know.
Okay.
The guy traveled all over the world with us. He went to Japan and China and filmed us playing, filmed 5 or 6 hours of interviews with me. So I've seen stuff he did with Motorhead, and it was good, so I'm sure this is going to be good too.
That's
Like I
exciting.
said, I haven't seen it yet, so
And you said there was a CD coming out too?
yeah, called Step Back. The same idea as Roots, old songs that I grew up learning from, listening to.
Who's on that record?
A lot of guests.
Yeah, I thought there were some guests on that record. Who is that? Who's going to be on there with you?
Billy Gibbons is going to be on it. Joe Bonamassa.
Who's that big guy?
Gary Clapton is going to be on it.
Okay, yeah, I think I heard of him.
Dr. John.
Okay.
Mark Knopfler.
Who's producing it?
Paul. That's all this.
Oh, who?
The Aerosmith guitar player, never get his name.
Okay.
Joe Perry.
Joe Perry.
Oh, Joe Perry, cool. That sounds like it's going to be a killer record, man.
Oh, it's gonna
Can't
be
wait to
good.
hear it.
It's gonna be good, definitely.
Is there any advice that you would offer to people who are trying to learn slide? It seems like
I
something.
listen to people like Elmore James and Robert Johnson, buddies, Sunhouse,
Okay.
Robert Nighthawk, the good people that came before. You got to know what their little guys are doing before you can take it someplace else.
Right on, man. Well, thank you so much, and this has been wonderful, and we can't wait to see the show tonight.
Well, thank you.
Good to meet you, man.
Yeah, very nice.